Right, so I'm going to show you how to master a plank half circle. So I'll just show you what the exercise is first. So that's the exercise, and it was something that we did loads when we were training specifically for our javelin work. So it's really good for upper body strength and just working and stabilising all these small muscles in your shoulders and your upper body. So to break it down and make it a little bit easier, the things you need to focus on is, firstly, you want to be in a good plank position. So again, you want to be nice and straight through your body, everything switched on and working. And then what you're going to do is you're going to have your feet slightly apart, and then you're going to cross over with your hands, so over to one side and walk it round, and then cross over to the other side and walk it all the way back round in a half circle motion, and keep that crossing going. And it's really good for obviously your upper body, but still your core as well, because you're having to go through that movement where you're having to rotate slightly and use these muscles as well. So yeah, it's quite a difficult one to do, but if you take it slowly and break it down and focus on crossing over and doing it in a really controlled fashion, then you'll absolutely master it. If you are finding it hard to cross over though, then you just want to take, instead of crossing over, take your hand to the other hand, like that. And that makes it slightly easier. So hopefully, if you break it down, you will master the full exercise in no time. Okay, so I'm going to help you to master the Ennis jumping lunge. So firstly, I'll just show you what the exercise is first. So that's the exercise that we're trying to master, and I'm going to break it down for you, so hopefully it'll be easy for you to understand and get to grips with. So your first position is standing forwards, and you want to take one leg back into a lunge position, making sure that your knee isn't overshooting your toe, that your hips go straight down so you're not too far back. So once you're in that lunge position, you're then going to fire this leg and this knee up and through into a standing hopping position. So making sure that you're using your opposite arm to opposite knee. So always think about that knee that you're driving through. You always want the opposite arm with it, so don't try and jump like this. You kind of want the opposite with opposite knee. Once you've done that first position, then you're going back on the opposite side into a lunge position. So lunge, opposite arm to opposite knee that's coming through, and you're going to shoot it all the way up. So it's quite a dynamic, explosive movement. It also requires coordination, but you really want to think about explosivity, so powering through your bum, your legs, driving that knee up, not sinking with your hips. So when you're in that position and you're coming all the way up, your hips aren't sat back. You always want to think about pushing them forwards and having that great position. And if you follow those few steps, then hopefully you'll be able to master a Ennis jumping lunge. Okay, so single leg sprints. This is one that I did all the time when I was training. It's great for leg turnover, so you're just working at great speed. So again, you want your shoulders over your hands and keep in that position, and then you're bringing your knees up to your elbows in a really quick movement. If that is a bit too hard for you though, to still keep that pace of your legs working at that speed, then the best thing to do is to find a bench or a chair, and if you pop your hands on it in the same position and then do the same movement. So trying to keep that pace, but it's just a little bit easier because you're taking the pressure, the weight distribution is different, so you're taking that pressure off your upper body as well, so it should be a little bit more easier to try it with a bench or a chair. So I'm going to demonstrate a classic press up. So the things to think about with a press up is that you want to make sure that this part of your body, your trunk, so your core, and also your glute muscles, your bum muscles are always switched on and working really hard through the movement. So you just want to draw your stomach muscles in and switch them on, and also squeeze your bum muscles so they're working as well. So you take a press up position, make sure that your shoulders are above your hands, and then you take your chest down to the floor and back up, pushing hardly through your hands, so really strongly through your hands, and then back up and back up. If you are finding a full press up a little bit too difficult, then the way to change it slightly is to put your knees down. So you can cross your feet or have them side by side. And you take the same position. So your shoulders above your hands, knees together, and then you take your chest to the floor and back up. Again, thinking about making sure your core's switched on and that your bum muscles are squeezing and working hard as well. And that just makes it slightly easier because your weight distribution is different. Yeah, if you are finding the classic press up hard, try those and try those for a few weeks. Just really focus on your technique, making sure that you're thinking about all those things, switching all those muscles on in the right way. And then as you get more comfortable with that adaptation, then just try and start with a few, full classic press ups. So you might want to start the circuit with 2. So 1, 2. And then put your knees down and do the rest of the circuit like that. And then as you progress and get better, hopefully you should be able to add in more full press ups to the whole circuit as you go. So I'm going to show you how to modify scissors. So first way to do them is laying on your back. You always want to make sure that you don't have a big hollow arch through this position of your back. So you want to tilt your hips back slightly, draw in your stomach muscles and hold them, but breathe through that movement as well. So the first movement is big scissors. So you're taking your legs all the way up and all the way down, making sure that you're switching on through here and not arching. If you see that gap, you don't want that position. So this is big scissors. And once you're comfortable with those, you're going to take them into baby scissors. So taking them a little bit lower, same position through your back, but just a really small movement, and you'll feel that working all the way through here so much stronger. And then if you want to take it to another level and make it even harder, then instead of the movement being up and down, you just want to cross your legs over the top, underneath, over the top, underneath, like this. Try and breathe for it and don't hold your breath like I am. And just keep that movement going. And you'll feel that really working through all your core muscles, and it's pretty hard. So if you can start with the big scissors, progress to baby scissors, and then progress to crossing over.